Hello everybody, TJ here. As you can probably already tell, this video is a little bit different. I don't really have a script or anything in mind, but I wanted to make a video dedicated to the Amazing Digital Circus. Now, I'm recording this a week after I recorded my reaction to the finale, and if you haven't seen it already, I recommend go checking it out. I don't believe many people will probably find this video, but if you have, thank you for clicking on it, thank you for watching. But I just want to explain how the Amazing Digital Circus has had an impact on my life personally. And it goes back to when I was about halfway through high school, I think. I don't know, sometime around there. And I randomly got a notification that one of my favorite YouTubers, if I heard of him, named Think Noodles, reacted to a show called The Amazing Digital Circus. Now, personally, I was doubtful of it at first. I mean, Think Noodles at the time was also reacting to Skibbity Toilet, so I wasn't too set on watching it, because I thought that The Amazing Digital Circus was just another kids show. And so I would just randomly get like content. Since I skimmed through the pilot and didn't see anything I liked, somehow I skipped all of the special moments and stuff. I got like some random content farm stuff, and it's just like, yeah, I didn't feel too confident about watching the Amazing Digital Circus. Flash forward to the release of episode 3, and the thumbnail of the trailer for it caught my eye, and I was thinking, this is a kids show, isn't it? Why is it so dark and creepy? I watched the trailer and I was surprised by how terrifying it was for what I thought was a kids show. And so it piqued my interest, and I went back and I watched the pilot, episode 2, and then episode 3, and I was caught up, and I kept watching the episodes, and I was just shocked by how colorful and playful this indie animation series could be, but also how dark yet deep and emotional it could be. Like it surprised me. I was shocked by what I found, and I came to love it soon after episode 3. And it holds a special place in my heart because its story is one that I truly love. Now, when it comes to stories for me, I have like 3 categories. Ones that I like, and ones that I love, but then ones that I totally obsess with. The ones I like are like stories like Bendy and Ink Machine's story or Hello Neighbor. I kind of like those for a minute. Didn't really dig into the lore of those. I was just like, oh yeah, this and that. Then there are the ones I love, and those are like the lore of Poppy Playtime, stuff like that. Like, I'll keep track of stuff. I'll see how much I can catch up on the lore. But then the stories I obsess with, there have only been 2 now. And the first one dates back to 2014 when Five Nights at Freddy's first came out. I am a huge FNAF fan. I obsess over the lore, try to stay up to date with everything. And like the only way to describe it is obsession. Like, I'm still constantly keeping track of everything, watching all fan games and stuff like that, fan animations, memes, stuff like that. But then the other story is The Amazing Digital Circus. It's actually been more of an obsession than Five Nights at Freddy's, which is saying something because Five Nights at Freddy's has been my obsession for 12 years now. Yet the Amazing Digital Circus became more of an obsession than that. Because honestly, it it just is. It was a show that I felt emotionally connected to. And that doesn't normally happen with stories. Like, without like my face changing, I could easily like blankly state a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's facts about like the missing children's incidents, blah 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 blah. But with the Amazing Digital Circus, if you haven't seen my reaction to the finale, I cried 3 separate times during the end of it. I have to say, that has never happened with a story at all before. Like, I've watched like a bunch of sad movies and shows, learned the sad truths of stories and stuff like that. None of them have been able to make me cry before. And then the Amazing Digital Circus ended with the finale, and that made me cry 3 separate times. This has truly been a show that I've loved, not just for its emotional depth and the adult humor in it at times, but I also loved the pieces of lore, all the stuff that you could, all the evidence that you could collect from the very beginning to like get to the ending, and not just that, but like the lessons that it shared. They were lessons that some of them I already knew well, but then some of them I needed to be reminded of, and there was one or two that I truly learned. And those really made an impact on my life. And I have the Amazing Digital Circus to thank for introducing me to indie animation, because before then I thought indie animation was for children and stuff like that. But the Amazing Digital Circus led me to Murder Drones. Murder Drones somehow led me to Has Been Hotel, which led me to Hell of a Boss. And from there, I've watched a ton of different indie animation shows, and honestly, it's had a huge impact on my life. I know it sounds cheesy and silly, but it has. And that's why I just want to say thank you to everybody behind the Amazing Digital Circus. Thank you, Gooseworks, for writing and directing the show, pouring your passion into the project despite heavy criticism and the toxicity of parts of the fan base. Thank you to the voice actors for lending their amazing vocal talent and putting so much effort into making these characters feel relatable and alive. Thank you to Glitch for providing all of the proper resources to help Goose make a wonderful show. And thank you to the amazing part of the fan base that has shared so much art, music, fun, and yeah, just thank you to everybody who has helped make the Amazing Digital Circus and has supported it. I honestly can't thank you guys all enough. And with that, that's my thank yous. I'm sorry if I rambled on a bit too much, but Goose, Glitch, if you guys somehow, like, I don't know, 1 in a billion chance stumble across this video, thank you. You really made an impact on my life.